Hello. Okay, my next animal that I will be painting includes lots of greens in the images. If you enjoyed Pip, I hope you did from last week. She is finished and is up on my social media, and I'm starting a blog, The Watercolor Woods by Joy Neasley, on my website, and she will be up on it also, but she has not been released yet for purchase. So today, to get the greens, because green is one of my weakest areas, I thought we would play around with our watercolors. My favorite book for getting a jump start on doing this is 3,000 Color Mixing Recipes by Julie Collins. And I just use it as a jumping off point because I have a very minimal palette and I want to use what's in my palette. I don't want to be buying more paints because I travel and this is what goes with me. So I do not want it any bigger, and I don't want my wells any smaller. So this is perfect for me. Now, what we're going to be doing today is mixing some of our browns, our yellows, our reds, and our greens and our blues. We're going to start with mixing blues and yellows. And the reason for this is it's very hard to find a green that already comes mixed that looks natural. Green changes so much in nature that it's hard to get just one. So I just, from the get-go, learned to mix them. We're going to start with our yellows and blues. I have Winsor yellow. These are Winsor and Newton professional watercolors. Winsor yellow, cadmium yellow, lemon yellow, transparent yellow. I have Indonesian blue, French ultramarine, Winsor blue, green shade, and Winsor blue red shade. We'll also be mixing burnt sienna, a little sepia, burnt umber in with it, and who knows, we might even throw in one of the reds. I have Scarlet Lake, permanent carmine, quinacridone red, and permanent alizarin crimson. If we do use those, it'll just be a very slight touch of the color. But I got a sheet of paper, watercolor paper here, and my book, and I thought we would play. So for today, let's see, greens and yellows. She mentions that certain blues and yellows produce a granulated effect, such as French ultramarine and raw sienna. Now, if you use different brands, you're going to get different results. So play around with the brands you have. You do not need to go out and buy any. But let's get started. We are going to start, I'm just going to use a flat brush. This is a cheap one that I've chopped up to paint with because it was too thick. And our water, our paints, and the piece of paper. Oh, and a little pencil to write down what we did. Now, if you want to make yours nice and neat, you can use a ruler, a template for squares. I am just going to paint. Let's see. We are going to start with, now we'll use this hooker green later. I don't like using premixed greens. Let me see if I can show you this. I don't like using premixed greens, but we may mix it with some of the browns and see what we get in a little while. Let's see. I am going to start with Indonesian blue, and I'm not sure about any of these pronunciations. I make them up as I go along. Pronounce it however you would like. Okay, you're going to have, well, really dark straight out. All I did was put a little water on there. Let me write that down. Indanthrene, maybe that's how you pronounce it. indanthrine blue, right blue down here. Okay, now what I'm going to do is start out with a light mixture of it because I want to see what it is in the various. Let's do this. I'm going to do that 4 times till we get to full strength. Actually 3 times. We have full strength right there. Okay, now that will dry a little lighter and we'll add to it. Now let's get some, let's go with transparent yellow and see what we end up with. Let's do some transparent yellow. Now this is not an official color chart. This is just me playing. So, and it's just for my own purpose. Now, these two together, I think I'm gonna do this 2 ways. I'm gonna mix it right here. I'm gonna mix it off the palette. How's that? And this right here, and I'm doing a lighter version of this with just a little bit of the yellow. What is that? Transparent yellow. Let's see what we got. We have, it's not too bad. Okay, let's go in here. And let's see, let's add a little more blue. Let's see what we get. Definitely don't like that one with a little more of the blue. Okay. Now this is not rocket science. If you want to do this in a more precise scientific way, follow the book or color theory. This is just me experimenting for my next painting and how I do it when I'm unsure. Because I tend to paint intuitively. I can do this ahead of time and I probably won't even refer to it, but the fact that I played around. Let's mix these two together. See if we get a darker one. I like that. Okay, I like these last two. Those are more natural greens that we would get. Okay. Let's go to, I'm going to get some more of this transparent yellow. I forgot to write that down. See how it dries so differently there? This is just to give me an idea what it looks like lighter. Sometimes I'll go back over with another layer or two, see how it looks layered. I'm familiar with these. I encourage you to do that if you're not. Now, what do we think about mixing that with some Hooker's green? Let's do that over here. See what we get. Ooh, a bit bright for what I'm looking for. But maybe it's something you might need for a flower stem or something like that. Let's add a little more Hooker's green, see what we get. Nope. How about a little more of the yellow? Get really bright there. Okay. I might use these shades and leaves combined, but on their own, especially this one and this one. These two are more likely. This one and this one is not. Let's see. What did I mix that with? Hooker's green. Let's throw in some hookers here so I know what I did. They're straight hookers. Lovely name there. Hooker's green. Okay. So I don't forget which ones I did. Okay. Now, something that I know helps is when you mix Hooker's green and burnt sienna. Let's give that one a go. See if I'll be able to use that with my new one, with my critter I'm about to paint. If you guys stay tuned to my Patreon channel, that's where this year most of my in-depth detail is going. I am also starting a blog because this year, with my focus on what am I trying to say? On woodland wildlife, and I'm trying to create some characters that me and my grandchildren can come up with. There we go. I do know I will be able to use this in spots. Let me put some more in there and see what happens. Yep, I will be able to use this one a little more. We're getting more brown now, but yep, that's going to be perfect for some of what I'm doing. See how we took an unnatural, added a neutral color to it, and we got more natural browns that you would see in nature. Okay, let's see. What if I did it with sepia, Hooker's green and sepia? Let's see. I forgot to put it over here. That is pretty. That will be a definite. Let's put some Hooker's green over here so I remember what this was, and sepia. I said this is not science here. There are correct ways to do this. Don't go by that. I prefer being more intuitive with my painting. So while I'm painting, I will actually mix all this without looking at this. But this is giving me a little idea of which colors I'm going to lean towards. Let's see. Let's mix. I know this will be a dark, nice shade color. There we go. What happens if we put a little more in there? A nice brown, similar to sepia, but with the green in it. Let's come over here. Yeah, I like that. That'll be good for shading. I know I can use these three in the particular animal I'm looking at. Now let's put a little more. And that one's going to be a little bright for what I'm looking for. That's pretty. This one's not quite as natural, maybe just some hints of it. But this will be more what I'm looking for. Okay. Let's see. Let's get back to mixing some blues and yellows. I did Enantherin's one of my favorite blues, so let's go with that again. This time, let's mix it with some Winsor yellow. And let's see, over here, Enantherin. It's a nice green, but not what I'm going for. Let's mix a little more of the yellow in it and see what happens. I like that for shading and coloring on leaves. Let's put a little more of the blue on this side and see what happens. Too blue. I probably won't be using that one. Let's put a little more of this in here. See what happens, how light we get. Oh, nice. I will be able to use these two. Okay. let's go to, I need to learn how to pronounce that one. Okay, French ultramarine. French ultramarine mixed with Winsor yellow should be nice. Let's look. Might be a little granulated, but it should be nice. Let's get some of this up. Okay, let's mix it over here. There's my yellow. That is Winsor yellow. And we're going with French ultramarine. See what we get. Interesting. Go a little more. It's probably too blue, but might be able to use with shadows. Let's do a little more Winsor yellow in it. I like that one. There we go. Put that over here so I remember what I did. Okay, now I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to throw in a touch of Scarlet Lake in here. Back to my blue. This one's the one I was using. Some yellow. I have an interesting color that I think I will be able to use for some of the rocks that'll be in my next painting. Okay, let's go over to, let's do one more with the Winsor, the French ultramarine. Let's see what happens when we do this. That was burnt sienna. So let's take a little burnt sienna there. Some French ultramarine. Getting a nice gray brown there, but that's still not what I'm going for. Okay, I do want to put that there though, because that will go in my rocks. It's kind of a muddy color for little speckles in the rocks. Okay, let's try, not crazy for this with the Winsor blues, the red or the green. But what I wouldn't mind doing, this indanthrene, whatever it's called. Okay, and let's go with lemon yellow. Oops, I did not brush that off as well as I should have. Okay, until I've already got some in there. Okay, get some of the indanthrene here. I am definitely going to need more of the lemon yellow. See what we have. Not what I'm going for. That's not going to be a natural green at all. Okay, let's try a little cadmium, see what happens. Some of this I'm doing for you. I know a few of these colors just from previous mixing are not going to work. But let's see, cadmium yellow. I am going to have to rinse these when I'm done. You just run a slight stream of water over the top. It'll wash these colors out where I'm a little, I've mixed them a little bit here. Now this one's not so bad. Let me see, cadmium yellow. Now this is it by itself, which is a nice color, I think, for what I'm going to need. Let's put just a touch of burnt sienna in there. Yeah, that's going to be perfect. Put a little more burnt sienna in it and see what we get. Yeah, I like that because it can go either direction. It can go more towards the blue, towards the yellow, or towards the brown, which you're going to find in nature a lot. Okay, well, we have a few more minutes. I like to run these 20-25 minutes before I hang up. My next painting is going to be Oliver the bullfrog. And he lives at the base of the big bald cypress tree that, see if I can grab it here, that Pip the deer mouse lived in. Can you see that? Pip the deer mouse is finished. And I've written a blog about her as a character and who she is. So feel free to go over and check that out. Can you see that? Anyhow, let's see. There you go. And Oliver the bullfrog, I will probably still be working on him next Thursday. I'm going to start doing these lives Thursdays at 1. Let me know what you'd like to see. Would you like to see more color mixing, or would you like to see me working on Oliver the bullfrog? He will get started tomorrow, but will be, I'll still be working on him probably by next Thursday, and if not, I'll show you what he looks like in the next painting. I've got 3 next characters I want to do to go along with Pip and her big cypress tree. I'd like to paint the cypress tree with the hollow in it, and Oliver the bullfrog, Mia the blue jay, and who else lives over there? There's a set of twin pond slider turtles who are named, what were they named? I don't remember. I'll have to look it up later. But there's a pair of very wise old pond slider turtles who will join the group. Josie was the girl. I don't remember what the boy's name was. Anyhow, they're fun, cute characters. Maybe me and my grandchildren will have fun telling stories with. And I'm going to post their characters. And who knows, maybe one of these days I'll share the stories with you. So have a great day, and I'll see you next Thursday at 1 o'clock Central Time.